Welcome back to News Across Nigeria. All our top stories can be found on our website, that's channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Do visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app on all our social media platforms. Now, there are controversies over the figures presented by the Amnesty International and that of the medical officer from the Nigerian Army Medical Unit on the number of those allegedly killed in the Army Shiite clash in Zaria, Kaduna State. While the Amnesty and members of the Islamic movement are insisting that 347 corpses were buried in the mass grave, the Nigerian Army medical team is saying that a few corpses were handed over to the representative of the state government. At the resumed sitting, a medical officer from the Nigerian Army Depot Medical Unit, who also played a major role in the burial of the deceased, was cross-examined by counsel to the commission to give the actual figure of the dead. Major Gulan, however, says he did not keep the record of the deaths as he was busy trying to save lives that were brought into the hospital. Now, hundreds of adulterated cooking oil, compressed wraps of marijuana, popularly known as Indian hemp, amongst other items on display, were recently seized by officers of the Semi-Command of Customs along the border route. The new controller of the command, Victor Dimka, explains that the items were intercepted in the last 1 week and is expected to maintain the tempo. Mr. Dimka warns that it will no longer be business as usual for smugglers along the route.
This is not the first time, but in just span of 5 days, we seized these ones. That's why we deem it fit that we should bring it to the notice of the public. That because we have tried at all costs to block the passage of petrol from Nigeria into Benin Republic, they have devised other means to get it across. So this is the right signal that no matter how well or how ingenious they are in trying to smuggle petrol out of the country through this border, we will get them tracked down and arrested. And we have raised up the stake in our security within the border station. We don't have cases of such. But we are not deceived by this quiet atmosphere. We know they will regroup one day, but we are equal to the task. We are more determined. And the synergy between the police, the army, and other sister agencies is more at work.
The Banri state government says it will no longer encourage the import of raw agricultural product from the state, but will rather empower local farmers and SMEs to process them. Governor Samuel Otom stated this at the opening ceremony of the 8th Banri National Trade Fair holding in Makurdi, the state capital, where he sets an 18-month target to complete the agricultural revolution plan for Banri State. Participating institutions like the Bank of Industry assures exhibitors at the fair a good partnership that will encourage trade and agro-allied business if the state government joins the roundtable for discussion.
Agricultural produce here.
The IBB Square in Makurdi, venue of the 8th Banri National Trade Fair, comes alive with farmers and SME business owners showcasing their produce. Organizers of the fair believe the state can be self-sufficient if the state government places premium on agriculture.
We don't foresee a situation where Nigeria will go back to sell the kind of oil they used to sell and get money from it the way they used to. So we just have to revert to agriculture. And Benin State is blessed with agricultural land and agricultural produce. So the whole country should then be encouraged to come in and invest in Benue in agricultural production.
Responding to the need to diversify the state's economy, Governor Samuel Ortom, who was represented by his deputy, says agriculture, trading and food processing will experience changes within 18 months.
I want to give you this assurance that Benue State, give us another year and a half, we will be at the top of it. And we are ready to partner with you in order to encourage investment and trading activities.
A delegation from the Bank of Industry pledged to make a positive impact on the Banri Agricultural Revolution Plan if the state government seeks its help.
The people of Benue State have everything to benefit from that because they will get their financing for the industrial projects at very cheap rates. In some other states that we have partnered with, they get their interest rate, their financing at 5% per annum. You can imagine what that would do to the lives of a lot of people in Banri State.
The trade fair, which will run for 3 weeks, has begun to expose local farmers and SME businesses to fruitful partnerships and export markets, which the state believes will be beneficial on the long run.
And also in the agricultural sector, the president has directed the release of 10,000 tons of grain from the National Strategic Grain Reserve for national distribution. The president hopes this will counter food price increase and exploitation of common people by the trader class. President Muhammadu Buhari has also asked Minister of Agriculture to ensure that all the able-bodied men and women in the IDP camps be assisted to return to farming immediately. A statement issued by the senior special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, says the devastation of the economy was caused by the Boko Haram insurgency, corruption, and the lack of planning, and should not be blamed on the present administration. The statement adds that the president understands the pain and the cries of the citizens. The Nigerian Army School of Electrical and Mechanical Engineering in Edo State says the institution is repositioning itself towards achieving its goal effectively to provide technical equipment support to the Nigerian military as it carries out its operations against the insurgents in the northeast, as well as tackle all forms of economic crimes across the country. The new acting commandant of the school, Brigadier General Olawumi Johnson, who said this after taking over from Brigadier General Minimu Abel, said the Nigerian Army is intensifying training of its officers and men in line with the present security challenges facing the nation.
The immediate past Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Olawumi Johnson, receives a warm welcome from the outgoing commandant and other management staff of the Nigerian Army School of Electrical and Mechanical Engineering in Auchi, Edo State. This is his new place of assignment as he is to take over as acting commandant of the school. After a brief closed-door pre-handover meeting, the outgoing commandant, Brigadier General Minimu Abel, proceeds to give his valedictory speech to the troop.
My happiness is that I'm leaving you in the hands of a very experienced administrator, going by his antecedents in Army headquarters and at the national level. 3 hearty cheers to the outgoing Commandant Nasime. Hip, hip, hip! Hooray!
Done with that, they head for the ceremonial handover rituals at the quarter guard. Then it was time for the new man in charge to inspect the quarter guard. The acting commandant of the institution, Brigadier General Olawumi Johnson, subsequently spoke on what he hopes to bring to the school for it to contribute meaningfully to the technical area and manpower of the Nigerian Army.
The school's objective is principally to train technical manpower for the maintenance of all equipment in the Nigerian Army. And it is our role to ensure that the technical manpower that we produce are able to put Nigerian Army equipment in operational effectiveness and use for troops in the field. At the moment, there has been a lot of focus on training across the whole formations in the Nigerian Army. So essentially, I'm here to make sure that I ginger the troops. We will train until we can train no more, so that we can be able to achieve the Chief of Army Staff's vision.
The Nigerian Army School of Electrical and Mechanical Engineering plays a strategic role in the provision of manpower and the strengthening of technical capacity for the Nigerian military, especially as the nation fights against insurgency and seeks to make the country secure for all her people.
And staying with the Nigerian military, as the Nigerian Navy continues on its quest to keep the territorial waters of the country safe, it's also working on upgrading training programs, curriculum, in order to enhance capacity building. This was the remark of the outgone flag officer commanding Naval Training Command, Rear Admiral Adeniyi Oshinowo, while handing over the leadership of the command to Rear Admiral Joseph Okoje in Lagos. Rear Admiral Joseph Okoje, before assuming this position, was the Director of Plans, Naval Headquarters.
The Nigerian Navy Total Spectrum Strategy has provided the enabling tool to be able to define how we should train. We have therefore identified the need, firstly, to address the challenge of the quality of our training programs, and the result of this was the recent approval by the Chief of the Naval Staff for the reviewed curriculum for each of the over 120 courses we conduct to be implemented, and this we have started. So in other words, the content, the quality of instructors, the training facilities, and other necessary requirements are being overhauled, renovated to meet this.
You're watching News Across Nigeria. Time to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.